Again, the national education policy talks about multidisciplinary growth of the young learners. And I think all these 6 points are examples of multidisciplinary growth that Karnataka provides. If you come to the world of culture, Karnataka is the home to the richest Karnatakans. Right at the center here, you have the icon of Carnatic music, Purandaradasa. The great singer Purandaradasa is somebody who hails from Karnataka. On the left top, you have a very famous violinist, after whom an entire theatre was built in Bangalore in the style of a violin. When you come to Bangalore, Bangalore will see a theatre called Chaudhaya Memorial Hall. And that Chaudhaya Memorial Hall is built in the shape of a violin to remember the legacy of this very famous violinist whose name was Chaudhaya. Next to Chaudhaya is a very well-known veena player. His name was Doreswamy Iyengar, and Doreswamy Iyengar was in the court of the Mysore Maharaja, and the Maharaja encouraged. You go to the right side, friends, you have one more violinist there, a much younger contemporary violinist. His name is L. Subramanian. L. Subramanian has brought together Eastern music and Western music through his violin. I am personally very proud of L. Subramanian for a particular reason. L. Subramanian came to us 7 years ago at jail and told us, I have honorary PhD degrees from several universities, but I want to earn my PhD. I want to do coursework, I want to submit a thesis, and I want to, as a university, to get my thesis evaluated. And friends, we at Jain are very proud that L. Subramanian earned his PhD from Jain University. He defended his thesis in a colloquium, and 3 years back, he was formally awarded a PhD by Jain. And therefore, we feel very close to stalwarts like him. Next to L. Subramaniam is Suma Subhitra, a very well-known modern player of the beat. Down in the left corner, you will see a typical South Indian instrument called the khatam. And the player of that is somebody called Giridhar Udupa, a younger generation's player of the khatam, an instrument called khatam. And in the right, that collage of artists are all the latest Carnatic music singers, the new generation Carnatic music singers that we have. Friends, my last, I think Karnataka is also proud that it has very critical citizens. You will see on the side, the right hand side, the Vidhana Saudha, which is the seat of power in Karnataka. And below Vidhana Saudha, you will see a statement there which is written boldly on Vidhana Saudha. And what is written there in Kannada is Jana Seve Janarthan Seve, which means government's work is God's work. That is the motive with which the Karnataka government expects everybody to work. Karnataka has a very vibrant political culture. The culture is so vibrant that since 1985, we have never voted back a ruling party. Every election in the state, we have brought a different ruling party. If you look at the history of Karnataka, 5 years, a ruling party has never immediately come back. That is the vibrancy of our political culture. Karnataka is one of those first states where the voter made the difference between state election and national election. And we did this as early as in 1985, not today, in 1985, the voters used to vote for one party for state government and a different party for central. This is something that many states today will do. Delhi does that today, other states do that today. But we started doing this 35 years ago and in a way set the trend in Karnataka. So friends, I have tried to present Karnataka from 7 perspectives, from 7 different characteristics, or what I said, the 7 ways in which you can look at this. I would stop here and I will be happy to answer any questions that friends may have. I will be happy to answer any issues that anybody in the audience.
First you introduce yourself, then you put up your question. Any language.
I hope you found this presentation useful and interesting.
Please turn off your mics. Thank you, sir, for enlightening our minds, enriching our knowledge, and helping us to develop a deep understanding of the Karnataka culture. Sir, I would like to know how this Jain temple was set up there in Shravanbela, and who was responsible for setting up this temple there. Sir, I would like to know how this Jaina temple was set up in Shravanbela and who was the ruler responsible for constructing this temple.
उनको अपना अनम्यूट कर था उनको ओपन करना है उन्होंने अपना अनम्यूट करा था आप बोले अनम्यूट कर सर अपना अनम्यूट कर
सर प्लीज अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ
Thank you, ma'am, for that very important question. I think any visitor to Karnataka will definitely be visiting Shravanabelagola. I must add here, Shravanabelagola is one of those Jain sites in Karnataka. There are many other sites of the Jain culture and Jain religion which you find in Karnataka, and Shravanabelagola is Truputno of Karnataka, and it is very famous for its Bahubali statue, the Gomateshwara Bahubali statue. Of course, younger people may be more interested in the Bahubali movie, but I am talking of the Gomateshwara Bahubali statue. Now, you asked me during which time was this created. History records say that this was done. This was created by the Ganga dynasty of Karnataka, and was done in honor of a Jain monk who decided to take sannyas and adopt an ascetic life and came to this. So this is the little I can recall of the history of Shravanabelagola.
Thank you very much, sir. A very good afternoon, sir.
Yes,
Yes. A very good afternoon, sir. We are proud to witness your thoughts about the Karnataka, but we know a little about Karnataka. Also, our students know a little about Karnataka. So we want to learn more and more about Karnataka. Which books would you like to refer to us to learn more about the culture, tradition, sculpture, art, architecture, dance, drama, etc. about Karnataka?
I would immediately say that when I read the books by Part-3 on India's history, one or two of those volumes were what I would remember as being the ones which gave me authentic information about Karnataka. So I would go back to the series on history of India, which was one important book that I would refer to. Other than that, I think more recently there have been books about Karnataka's history and Karnataka's architecture. There have been some very important works on Karnataka history and architecture. One of those I would cite is something which has been written by one of my colleagues, Dr. Chudamani Nandagopal. She has written a book on, would be a very important reference site or an important book to read up on Karnataka. I also would draw your attention to a very well-known book by Dr. K.A. Nilakanta Shastri, who wrote a book on a history of South India from prehistoric times to the fall of the Vijayanagara Empire, which I think was an extremely important book on Karnataka history and on Karnataka culture. So these are some of the books out of my immediate memory that I could recall, which I think would be useful works to study. Let me add one more. The famous archivist of Karnataka, Dr. Suryanath Kaman, he wrote a book titled A Concise History of Karnataka from Prehistoric Times to the Present. And this was published in 2001. And for me, that's a very useful book on the history and the culture of Karnataka. I hope some of these references will be useful.
Very good afternoon, sir. Myself, very much in PhD Maths in this KB ITBP. I have heard so many lectures on YouTube, and I'm highly impressed by you, sir. There are two questions, sir. One is connected to our principal, sir, and you as people are connected to each other. Two basic points. I want to ask that how after so many years we can connect to our students as equal power and the basic things we as a teacher we want to have this in our teaching group. Second is I'm bothered about NEP also. How the government of India is going to implement the basic stage and
so many policies have recommended by the government, but we know there are some areas that will be so is NEP implementation be as successful as it is going to projected? Thank you, sir.
Both very interesting questions, but I must say both very difficult questions, but I will try to answer.
Thank you.
Let me practical begin. I have been lucky to have been part of the process of the making of the National Education Policy, because the National Education Policy Committee honored me by inviting me as one of the consultants to their meetings. So I saw how the NEP was being written. Now, ma'am, if you see Prime Minister Modi's speech, the first speech he made on NEP, he said one change that this NEP will do is will not be taught knowledge and will not be given knowledge but will be given the skill set to be able to develop knowledge and skills. That I thought is an important paradigm shift which this NEP does. If you ask me what is the biggest contribution of NEP, for me, the biggest contribution of NEP is wanting to transform the classroom from a place of teaching to a zone of learning. For me, this is the biggest transformation. Classroom is no longer going to be a place of teaching. Classroom is going to be a zone of learning. And then, learner number one in this new classroom will be you and me. It will not be the students in the classroom, because there is so much in this new classroom that they will teach us. We will also be learners in this new classroom. Point number two, man, about NEP. When I attended one of the meetings of NEP committee, the chairman of the committee, Shri Kasturiranganji, made an interesting point. He turned to me and said, Dr. Shastri, we will not be able to implement NEP unless there is disruption. Disruption is fundamental to implementing NEP. Because NEP talks of a paradigm shift. And no paradigm shift is possible unless there is some disruption that happens. That's why NEP does not say we will do it in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. They give a 10, 15 years timeline for several things to be. Man, you are right in saying India has no dearth of good policies. The problem is internal. The famous lawyer Nani Palkivala, in his book We the People, he wrote, India has too many laws but too little justice. Too many policies but too little development. Too many rules but too little action. And I think Palkivala was right. But I think NEP can be implemented, I would believe, from two perspectives. Perspective number one, which is less important. A top-down approach. The leadership drives NEP. The leadership expresses a by leadership I don't mean political leadership. I mean Sanjay ji, in his school, in my university, all of us across the country as a leader. Number two, and most important, the heart of NEP is teachers like you and me. NEP's success will depend upon how much we teachers take ownership for it. Because remember when to bring about a change in the classroom, I don't need any rules and regulations. If I am mentally convinced that I need to bring a change in the classroom, I will create a change. So if anybody is going to implement NEP, it is you and me. I often ask teachers, and I am asking them today, and I am asking you now, do your students run to the class and walk to the home, or walk to the class and run to the home? Do your students run to the class and walk to the home, or walk to the class and run to the home? Which one is correct?
Most of the time, run to classroom and walk to home.
Run to the classroom and walk to the home. And why do they run to the classroom and walk to the home?
There is a reason.
Man is taking class first. And now can I ask you uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Do we as teachers run to the class and walk to the home, or walk to the class and run to the home?
Sometimes both happens.
Walk to the class and run to the home.
Sir, always trying to run to the class.
Right. Because you run to the class and walk to the home, your students follow your example and run to the class. And I remember a favorite story of a mother. There was this boy refusing to get up to the mother. Mother is waking him, get up, go to school. No, I won't go. Why? Nobody likes me, and I won't go. Mother said, no, you must go. Then he told his mother, give me 2 reasons to go. Mother said, reason number 1, Everybody loves me in school, go to school. Then give me reason number 2, Amma. Reason number 2, you are a teacher in the school, get up and go to school. Most people think I am talking about a student, I am not talking about a student, I am talking about a teacher who is easy to get up now. For me, madam, the success of anything is not in the hands of the government, it is not in the hands of policy makers. It is in the hands of teachers like you.
Let's pray, sir.
I was lucky to have students like Sanjay in my classroom and I learned so much. Man, today as the Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University, you may be surprised to know. Even today, I go to the classroom 11 hours. I take undergraduate classes, I take postgraduate classes, I take PhD classes. Every day 9:30 to 10:30 or 9:30 to 11:30 or 9:30 to 10:30, 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Administration can wait. Administration is always there. But class is for me. I cannot survive without it. Now, what is the passion we bring into our lives? And now that brings me to the first question. You see, I told you more than 30,000 students have had a chance to learn this. And today, whenever I go anywhere in the world, believe it or not, whenever I go anywhere in the world, I run into some students. And the student does not back and go away. The student comes up to me and goes, "Ma'am, that is my pension, that is my provident fund, that is my life."
We want to earn the thing.
There is nothing, see, there is nothing more important for them as conveying our message. Dr. Asmi, Sanjay, you will be surprised to know, and you may know this. Before I joined Dehradun, I was in Afghanistan. My father was working in Kabul. I did my schooling in Kabul. My school principal of Kabul is still 80-year-old and active, and even today I am in touch with him. And he calls me to his school in Delhi as a member of that board. So it's not only my students, my teachers I continue to help. Because I believe this is a community which is so important. Let me just take an example. For the last 8 years, I am involved in a project of the United Nations in a neighboring country called Myanmar, which is earlier called Burma. Last 8 years, I have. The last time I went, and I have this habit, you may not believe it.